When I first heard about defund the police a few years back, the very first thought I had was, oh, the hood is about to go through it. I'll be honest with y'all. I can't sugarcoat. The very first thing I thought is every person who is now living in the projects, in the hood, in some type of ghetto is about to go through it. Because don't nobody need the police like somebody who is living in the lowest socioeconomic environments. There is nobody on this planet who is more desperate to have a police officer intervene in a situation than somebody who is in the hotbed of criminality. Simple as that. And I'm a dude who spent 17, 18 years in the Bay Area. I basically grew up in the Bay Area. So I got to see California degenerate into what the hell it now is, where it is one of the crime capitals of the country. I was going to say the world, but there's some places out there in the world, but it's probably not far off, right? In comparison to what it used to be, it has turned into the equivalent of a third world country, right? Where criminality is made okay, where essentially people could steal without any sort of repercussions, thanks to our, I was gonna call him governor. He ain't governing a damn thing besides his $9 million mansion. He ain't governing a damn thing besides the money that he is laundering through the people, but I digress. So we find ourselves in a place where movements such as BLM, or scams such as BLM, propaganda such as BLM, race hustlers such as BLM push a movement like defund the police. And for some reason, the very same individuals who used fundraiser dollars to create wealth for themselves, use fundraiser money on the backbone of white guilt, and bought themselves homes, vacations, champagne. At least that's what I saw in those pictures. These were supposed to be the people we entrusted to take money out of the police force and to put that money somewhere where it's actually going to help the community. And what happened as a result of that was that we now have the worst crime rates and the least policing we've ever had in at least California's history, and I would assume in blue states across the entire country, right? That's why the last election we saw the sweeping red that we did. 10 counties in California, which has been blue since its damn inception, right? Since them gold miners stepped foot over here, it has been blue. Since that day and age, we have not seen the type of flip into Republican territory as we saw during this 2024 election season. And it's for the simple reason that defund the police does not work. More specifically, it hurts the very people it purports to help. Like I say this about the DEI programs. People think that these are programs that are made for people of color and they're going to be, these incredible opportunities to place people who would be displaced otherwise or those who would be overlooked. No, 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 no. What the programs do is they disincentivize the very highest of talent. And so you yourself who's being propped and pushed into a position that you actually didn't earn or you're not ready for, not competent, or might not even be your area of interest or expertise in the first place, it's creating a new standard to say average is a new standard. So you end up having companies like Boeing who have subpar air carriers, and you know where that leads. That's literally life or death. You have situations where you have the FBI so damn woke that they're too busy protesting, taking the damn knee, that they can't actually look at what the hell is going on in the country as far as, T attacks and things of that nature. So when you have defund the police, what you're actually doing is you're allowing criminals to reign free in the areas where they need them the most. I don't think the liberal brain can even think like this, right? To say black folk are not a monolith, or, these people in these communities are not a monolith. They're not all criminals. They don't all support criminality. They don't see blackness and criminality as the same thing. They actually see the criminal element as a problem. They want to get rid of that element. They would rather not have that. They will call the police on their own damn nephew if they got to. And if your nephew is a damn criminal, you should. I don't give a damn who it is. Granny over here doing drive-by, she's got to go too. She's got to go. But there are people in these communities who are suffering as a byproduct. I'm not talking about the ones who are adding to that ecosystem, the ones who have no moral compass. I'm talking about the ones who are walking home, fearing for their life, or having to be on them subways in New York, fearing for their lives. The last thing they want to be around is this foolishness. But when you defund the police, when you take away from organizations such as this, and I know that part of your brain is going crazy right now, but you don't understand. But the police is racist. The police is a racist. Yeah, there are racist police officers. Absolutely, there are racist. There are racist police officers. There's also racist grocery clerks and plumbers and IT guys. Like, racism is everywhere, but that does not necessarily mean that the entire ecosystem of policing there's some agenda for them to wipe out black folk. If that was the fact, we would have no black folk left. I'm telling you this right now. There would be no black folk left in this country if that was a genuine fact. As a matter of fact, go into the statistics of how many black men were actually, or black men and women were actually gunned down by white police officers during the summer 2021, right? When they started reporting on the George Floyd incident. Go into the research, or go into the data of how many black folk actually, and you'll see that the number did not even break 20. It didn't break 20. But yet on a single weekend, you had close to 15 young men who were unalived in one neighborhood the exact same year. But there was no BLM there. There was no protesters there. Nobody cared, because those black lives only mattered when it fit a narrative that these race hustling organizations such as BLM and quote unquote this fractal of BLM, which is defund the police. If it did not serve them, then it never happened. And the reason I bring those points up is to say this. There are people who are kind of in the, I guess the in-between, right? And this is, I would generally say most people. Most people are not extremist in their nature. Most people are not going to be the far, far left or the far, far right. However, information is powerful and it sways people. And so when you have a message of the police are the problem, the police are the ones, it's not culture they're telling you about. It's not the criminality that is supported by even the institutions themselves, by the government, the far left, ideologues in the government. It's not that's the problem. It's not the fact that there are no morals and there is no level of integrity within the community or within subsects of this community. It's not that's the problem. It's the police that are the problem. They're just going around just hunting black folk. When you push that type of narrative, you push that type of lie and propaganda, you not only create fear within the people, but then you also create this synthetic, what would I call it? You create this dynamic where the very people who need this the most are the ones who are getting it the least. Because now they're convinced to say, damn, maybe that is the problem, right? And maybe they start to vote in support of that thing. And as they vote for that thing, they get more of the very thing they were trying to escape or evade. This is what happens in a lot of these blue cities, such as Baltimore, Memphis, these they call it chocolate cities that also happen to, have black mayors, etc. Because people think, oh, it's a black face in there, so they must have black folks in mind. Surely they must care. No, what they have in mind is them, and they will use their race as a means to get themselves in a position of power. That's the whole trick. That's the trick of the trade. And that's what happens when we're so fixated on identity politics, when we're so focused on what somebody looks like as opposed to what their actual motives are. What is the policy that they're driving towards? What is their resume? Who is this person? We're not even checking them. You know what I mean? It's like this whole idea of, well, support black business, support black business. Look, if I'm supporting you simply because you're black and I'm not checking or vetting or, support black, okay, I'm gonna take my kids and put them in a black daycare because it's a black daycare. No, I'm gonna put them in the best daycare necessary, if that be the case. Period. If I'm about to sit down in a restaurant and eat, I'm going to the place who has the best food, what I like, and the best service. You understand me? So if that's black folk, beautiful. If it's not, then it's gonna be somebody else. It's simple. Again, we have to break ourselves free from this mentality because it ends us up in situations where We now have the very same people suffering. Go into these neighborhoods and see what's going on. The criminal element is allowed to reign free. And that's why we start to see police not even touching situations, because now they're liable. Now they get in trouble if they step in and help somebody. That's crazy. They can't even do their jobs anymore. And this isn't, a propaganda piece. I'm not a police officer. I don't have any police in my family. But I do know that I've been in situations where, damn, if them police didn't pull up, what the hell was I going to do? You know what I mean? If them police weren't about to put somebody in them cuffs and take them out of it, I don't know. If my mama was at the house and something happened here, the first people I want handling that situation, police. That's what I want handling that situation. And again, there's black folk out there who are afraid to have this conversation. There's all types of folk, Even white folk are afraid to have these conversations because you've been called racist for so damn long. Don't worry about none of that. That word has lost its complete luster. It's lost all its power because it is overused and misused. So it is whatever. Right? But there are people in even those neighborhoods who are crying out like, we need the help. Go to Chicago and see why you got MAGA hats all up in the city council. Yelling Brandon Johnson all up and down. Day in, day out. They're sick and tired of it. Y'all are rewarding the criminals and punishing the law-abiding citizens. That's not going to work as a long-term effect. That's not going to work in the long term. No, it won't. The people are eventually going to get sick and tired of it. And that's where you find a lot of people. Then you end up having people leave. And, I got a story very recently today where somebody was saying, they moved into a small town, which is something I actually did. And, like myself, they're always told, oh, these places are racist, this and that. Guess what? They moved there years ago and have never left. They love it over there. They rave and rant about the damn place because they feel safe. They feel secure. And there isn't these sentiments. There's not this fixation on everything is about my race. Like, we really have to get over this. And I will speak on this until kingdom come. We really have to get over this if we're going to do anything different in our lives, if we're going to get a different result. Otherwise, it's just going to be one generation of welfare recipients to another. It's just going to look different, right? Somebody got food stamps back, in the 80s. Today, now you're just getting free DoorDash, whatever. Like, you think that's going to bring you satisfaction? Absolutely not. You got to build something for yourself. You got to live your life, live out your potential. I know this sounds, like these cute little Pinterest quotes or something like that, but it's real. When I made a decision to stop being a victim in my own story and to do something different with my life, like put in the necessary steps, take the actions, learn, develop my craft, turn this camera on and actually start to produce content and be fruitful and multiply upon my gift, then things start to change in my life as a direct byproduct. I had to learn a lot. There were times I was falling to deaf ears. Nobody was listening. 5, 10, people might have tapped into that video, but I continue to go. I stop blaming. If I put on a white man, oh, well, Mr. Beast, the white man, he's taking all the views. What? I look at these folks and I get inspired. I say, if you can do something like this with the same resources I have the same exact YouTube that somebody else has. I got the same platform anybody else has. Why can I not do that? That's how I view the world. And when we start to view life in that way, instead of being so race obsessed, man, things are going to be beautiful. Man, fund them damn police. They need reformation for sure. They need re-education for sure. They need a lot, but they need resources. Y'all see what the hell's been going on in this country? I know a lot of y'all folks on the left like to pretend, well, crime is down. Crime is down. Where? I seen homegirl, she got a purse jacked. Talking about crime is down. Not according to your purse. Not according to your purse. Crime is not down. If crime is down, then the sky's on the floor. And the pavement is in the sky. Some damn foolishness. Stop defending this madness, folks. Stop defending the madness. We can get rid of the criminal element. Stop sympathizing with it. Oh, but they had a hard life. Everybody had a hard life. They're making decisions that are leading to that. They need to be in a correctional center or a correctional facility, if you know what I mean. Till the next time, appreciate y'all. Peace.
I used to be afraid of the dark, a place unknown like a hardening heart. I used to see my life in the bar. Now the kids unchained, every shackle is lost. 2 steps in the moonlight. Two-step in the daytime. You just know when it feel right. You got a feeling the time's nice. See you through those shades that I just threw on. Through my lenses, you just can't do no wrong. I fell in love with myself again. I fell in love with myself. I fell in love with the sunshine. I fell in love with the light. I fell in love with the full moon. I fell in love with